Now, I said I'd go to your phone calls, and I want to go to your phone calls coming up in the next segment. I'm going to add some other news here in a moment. But first, here's the number to join us. For first-time callers only, please give new folks that haven't been able to get through, haven't been on a chance, specifically on all the scandals, on them now being in mainstream news. USA Today with the headline Friday, West funding al-Qaeda in fight against Assad. And they admit the main fighting group is al-Qaeda, and they are killing Jews and Christians and everybody, but that's okay. See, I've been proven right again in your face. Want to talk about that? The NSA, Obama now with video and text messages to take over all the phones. And I guess they're saying turn on your TV and make you hear announcements even when it's off. That's coming up. Meanwhile, Congress has a 10% approval rating, lowest ever. Which only makes them gear up more with the police state against us. They know they're illegitimate. They know they're criminal. We're going to be talking about all that. I want to get your take on all of this. And do you think it's a good idea that people with basically any type of pipe in Florida be given felonies? I mean, you got to have an economy. With people working for 25 cents an hour, even the Chinese aren't that cheap. Poor Chinese. Maybe they should move their suicide nets around the penitentiary. Kind of like Apple has at Foxconn over there. So liberal to have suicide nets, so trendy. You know, Al Gore cares about you, and so does Obama. He got a Peace Prize, didn't you hear? Let's go ahead. Who should I go to first here? Well, this new phone system, we have a new phone system. It has like 20 lines instead of 11. They're just all lit up. Francis in New York, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Happy Father's Day, Alex. How are you?
That's hate speech. You're not allowed to say father in French or U.S. federal documents. Father or mother is hurtful. I'm not joking. You just committed a thought crime, sir.
Throw me in jail. I don't care. Whatever.
Whoa. In fact, hold on. Viewers won't believe it, and TV and radio listeners won't. Will you guys type in federal documents, remove word father and mother, and show people? Because I'm not kidding. Go ahead, thought criminal.
No, you're right. No, you're right. I have 3 points I want to make, three very important points. Number one is this, that I used to have Verizon as my phone carrier. I actually got rid of them. But I found out about 8 months ago when I heard your show about them surveilling you through your Verizon phone calls. You know, I told a couple of my friends that at work, and they basically laughed at me, basically said, you're crazy, how could this happen, And guess what happened a couple of weeks ago? Everything came out. But what happened? What
do your friends say to you now?
Oh, I haven't seen him. I'm on vacation now, but I'm dying to go back to work and just to talk to see exactly what they think about the situation now.
Well, we're going to have to send some officers by to talk to you about using the term father, pal. What are you, some kind of sexist? Don't you know using the word father hurts people that don't have children and is hurtful? All speech is hurtful unless it comes from Big Brother.
Well, I guess I'm committing a sin, and I guess I'm guilty as charged.
Worship government right now. Let's worship it together.
I got one more question for you to make. As far as for Glenn Beck, I think, in my opinion, I know you try to be nice to him and all that stuff, but he's such a phony. He is such a phony. He plays both sides of the fence. You know, in my Cablevision carrier, which I have Cablevision as my carrier for my TV, he has a show on. I don't say, why can't you have a show like that on TV?
Well, we're gearing that up and setting that up, but a lot of it becomes a capital issue. They had to spend tens of millions of dollars to get that channel. We're on some systems and things already, but we're having to deploy it. So I'm not funded by big globalist financiers and people, and I don't want to get into a Glenn Beck bashing.
No, I understand that, but he's just a phony. He plays both.
No, you know what? I turn the other cheek. I mean, I have the entire fake left and right attacking me. And, the latest thing is, Alex Jones has death threatened me. And it's just completely out of the blue sky. And then you read the fine print, it's some of his listeners did. Well, I mean, I could have somebody send me an email saying, talk bad about Glenn and you're going to get it. I mean, he just is a total drama queen. And I appreciate your call. My only issue is that I wouldn't tell people, FEMA camps are real, I'm going to expose them in a month, and then come out and build a straw man and say they're not real when they're on record existing. Emergency Centers Establishment Act. I mean, there's so many different Army field manuals. It's all admitted they've got civil unrest. Maine Corps program, Operation Garden Splice. It's in the Miami Herald. It's in the Associated Press. This whole continuity of government program to use the Pentagon. And he goes around saying none of that's happening. But that's what the establishment does. And, of course, they're going to have a counterfeit of myself out there to play the part of anti-establishment who really is pro-establishment. But he starts it all the time because he's extremely obsessed with me and extremely jealous. And it's on record he is. But years ago, I learned he had like 4 or 5 people tracking everything we do. And I personally don't listen to him. Every once in a while, I randomly tune in and he's talking bad about me. I mean, great. He has a bigger terrestrial radio audience than I do, so I think it's wonderful. Send them all to Infowars.com. But I really care about freedom. I care about a future. I don't want to fight with Rachel Maddow, who attacks me and lies about me constantly. There's new video. She said again last week that I said the tornado was sent by Obama to hit Oklahoma City. I never said that. And she doesn't have a clip of me saying that. And then Bill O'Reilly played a clip and said, there's a lot of sexual hate speech on the internet, and then cuts to a clip of me talking about mercenary assassins, because I know what the clip was, out of context, and just says, here's the sexual bad man. And then just, why are they doing that? Why do they have hit pieces every day in major newspapers? Bloomberg, AP, Reuters, Nightline, you name it. Because I know what I'm talking about, folks. And I'm a constitutional populist. I think that's the best way to describe me. And see, you just got me on a jag, sir. I really need to get to the phone calls. Hayes in Texas, you're on the air. Welcome.
Thank you, Alex. I apologize. I'm not very well spoken sometimes, but I'd like to draw your attention to an issue that I discovered. I'm a Mensa member. Every week I receive a publication called the Mensa Brainwave. May 28, 2013, there was a story in the Mensa Weekly Brainwave. I'll read you the title. Cold fusion reactor independently verified has 10,000 times the density of gas, the energy density of gas. This is possibly the biggest story of our generation. I haven't seen it covered on the mainstream media. I'm reaching out to you to have your reporters look into this, because I guarantee you, if nobody's watching, this will be swept under the rug.
Well, let me tell you what happened. They had what Pons and Fleischner, going from memory, 20 years ago come out, and they made a joke about how it was in a mayonnaise jar and it didn't work. They have independently now confirmed, let's not exaggerate, 30-plus times that I've seen cold fusion. The problem is the power levels are usually very low, and they don't know how to extract it, so it isn't really usable so far. If they ever come out with feasible, high-powered cold fusion, absolutely, it is revolutionary. And we know that's what the NSA is out there for, is to spy on companies and people that do develop things. And if you come up with what they call disruptive technology, they will kill you. NSA is not there to stop Al-Qaeda. They run Al-Qaeda. NSA is run by foreign banks. They are there to make sure we never have technological development. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, on the other side of this break. Great point. We'll look into that. Ted, Matthew, Shannon, Michael, Rob, Exy, Bill, JT Coyote, Ren, Robert, your calls are all coming up. Get ready. I'm Alex Jones. ProPure is introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. This is the Pro One by ProPure. You wanted it, you got it. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It cuts out the acid derivative of fluoride. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gates, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. This is a revolution against the tyrants. They love putting the toxic acid base of fluoride into your water. They love the fact that it's an adjuvant supercharging the trace Prozac in the water and the hormones and the other chemicals. By cutting out fluoride, you cut out the turbocharger in all the poison being artificially introduced into your body. This is what I use. It's a win-win. You get a high-quality product at the lowest price. You support the InfoWar. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro 1 filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139. It's very important to remember something. The technocrats, the establishment, are obsessed with cutting-edge medical developments. But not just that, all the rest of the technological developments that are out there, because whoever's in control of that is in control of civilization and society. And they act like you're animals, like I'm an animal. They just write about this stuff publicly, and then if I talk about it, they'll have their corporate prostitutes get up there and laugh and say it doesn't exist. That's why everything I talked about 18 years ago has now unfortunately come true. Not because I was some incredible analyst, but because I actually went and studied what they were saying, what they were doing. And they've taken over the world through fiat financial fraud. They've got control of the technological military-industrial complex. They've got the technologies now to extend their lives massively, and they do not want to give that to the general public. Because their argument is, there's too many of us, we're dumbed down, we're spoiled, we're brats, we're scum. And I got to be honest, a lot of that's true. But the globalists are even worse. And I don't want to be targeted with soft kill weapons in the food and water. I don't think it's funny. I don't want to be experimented on. You know, I don't like this. And I think you have a right to know what's going on. I think you have a right to know what's going on. Because I believe we can build a better society and lift up humanity. See, the globalists claim they're doing this whole nanny state to lift us up, but when you actually look at it, it's meant to dumb you down so you're not in the real game of life. You're off playing some imaginary, video game where you live in a false reality. They want you neutralized. The average person operates and behaves like a child. And it's time to grow up and get serious and take the New World Order personal, because they take destroying you and your family very personally. Now, you've been warned. I'm going to give each caller about a minute because I want to get to all these. There's like 20 of them. Matthew in New York, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex, how's it going?
Pretty good, sir. Go ahead.
All right, Alex. I have a question, a couple questions. Are you still getting behind this march on the state capitals with Kokesh? And if so, do you believe that it could be a threat to the Constitution?
Yeah, I've never been for an armed march on D.C., and I've not been for a march armed on capitals, even though open carry is legal and lawful in most areas and legal and lawful under the Constitution. I was simply trying to say, if all this happens, we need video cameras everywhere there so the system can't set up provocateurs.
Right, but do you think this could be an excuse to go for our guns? In which way do you think it could be harmful to the Constitution?
Yeah, I don't think it's an excuse to go for our guns. That's why they've been arresting Kokesh twice and threatening him and stuff. They don't want a revolution to start right now because we'll beat them that way. We'll also beat them in an info war. They don't want to let us choose the time of when an armed revolution starts. They want to blow something up and then blame it on us so they can then have an all-out war against us. I appreciate your call. Let's go ahead and talk to Shannon in Minnesota. You're on the air.
Yeah, I just noticed how they have like all the grandstanding with how they could prevent 9/11 from happening if they had the NSA.
They had the NSA doing exactly what it's doing now then, and I've talked to the NSA people like Sibel Edmonds. People always say if the government was involved, there'd be whistleblowers. Criminal elements were involved, and Sibel Edmonds and others were there and watched our government command al-Qaeda the entire time throughout the attacks. She's on record, and it's come out in mainstream news. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just think it's funny, all these, like the Denver shooting and all that. If they had this technology in place, which they clearly did, why weren't those stopped?
The Denver shooter was being handled by a top Air Force psych warfare chief who ran entire bases, and they had entire files on the guy, and there were multiple shooters. They just get a drugged up zombie there at the scene who's on amnesics like Halcyon to not even know they did it. Same thing with Sirhan.
Yeah. Well, that's all I had. I just think it's just kind of ridiculous.
The NSA is not there to stop terrorism. It is there to spy on good people in government and good people in corporations to make sure they never know why anything they do that's good gets shut down. The NSA is there to serve the God of this world, Satan, Baphomet, El Diablo. I appreciate your call. Good points. Let's go ahead and talk to Rob in Texas. Rob, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, brother.
Well, I just talked to my mom. I'm from Illinois. I moved to San Antonio about a year ago, and I got to say I couldn't be happier. But every once in a while I have to speak to my mother, who once in a while we get into a political battle. Of course, she's a hardcore liberal Obama supporter like I was.
Let me just say something about San Antonio. It's got the best people I've ever been around. I love Austin, and I love
you 100% on that, and that's what my girlfriend told me. I moved in with her, and she was 100% correct. She works out here. I've never met a better person or people in my life. But to cut to the chase here, because I know we don't have a lot of time and a lot of callers want to get in, my mother still supports Obama amidst everything, and by talking to her the other day, it's official. They have my mother by her soul because, I mean, I can't even understand what she's saying half the time she's talking about politics. She used to be really good. She used to be really quick on everything, and she just agrees with Obama and what he does, honestly, because I think she's just used to being tossed down, used to being thrown down anytime she stands up.
She's in love with him.
She is, absolutely. And the whole biggest part and the question I'm looking for, actually, is the Patriot Act. That's her defense to everything about the NSA spying. Well, he's protected under the Patriot Act. No, I don't think he is. And
No. Warrantless spying. Look, the FISA is a rubber stamp, and that's unconstitutional. But they grab everything, or they'll say, well, Republicans are bad. I mean, that's like saying, well, Jeffrey Dahmer killed people, so it's okay if Ted Bundy did. It's all bad. And people get invested in a personality, and then they don't want to admit they're wrong. And I would say stop trying to argue with her, because it almost becomes a power trip for people when you try to convince them, say, hey, believe whatever you want. Go ahead and tell her, I think Obama should be given another Peace Prize. Give her USA Today on Friday, where he's commanding al-Qaeda in Syria, killing the Christians and Jews and minority Muslims, Alawites, and just start agreeing with her. Like, bring a stack of articles and go, I think it's good he's going to break in over our phone and take over. I think it's good, that he's got 2 billion bullets in armored vehicles. I think it's good that, they're saying that the state runs children. Try agreeing with her. I appreciate your call. That's the best way to handle these people. Bill in Wisconsin, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Bill.
Yeah, your phone's real low. Go ahead. Okay, I said Bill. We went to Exie. Go ahead, Exie.
Hey, Alex. It's Pixie.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Your audio's a little bit...
Yeah, I'm a public school teacher of 14 years and a union member and a really large fan of Charlotte Iserby, and I understand the dumbing down of America majorly. Have you heard about this new national Common Core curriculum that 45 states have unwittingly signed on
Yes,
for?
it's written by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It is designed to destroy critical thinking. But we've already got a 20-point IQ reduction from the fluoride. We shouldn't be mad at dumbed-down Americans. They are brain damaged. Those of us that are still operating okay would have had like 160 IQs. Now we only have like 140 IQs. And so the people that would have had 100 IQ have an 80 IQ. People that would have had an 80 IQ have a 60 IQ. I mean, you've just got wreckage. It's a chemical warfare operation. Pentagon run. Of course they're brain dead. Chemical weapons will do amazing things, ma'am.
Oh, absolutely. And not only chemical, but as a teacher, I've had modeled for me how to perform these lessons, and it's absolutely soul-sucking, mind-deadening.
All right, we're going to let you go, ma'am. We're going to let you go. Got to watch the language here on the show. That's a good way to get hung up on immediately. You guys got that, right? Fantastic. You obviously have had too much fluoride, honey. I'm sorry. That doesn't matter.
Now you can watch Alex Jones live at Infowars.com/show.
You'll find links to all of our content there and a free 15-day trial for Prison Planet TV.
You can also browse the network, the InfoWars Nightly News,
and over 60 movies and documentaries all together in one place.
You can watch the Alex Jones radio show live as it happened.
So check it out, Infowars.com/show.
We are back, and I got to apologize to Pixie. I've got an earpiece that I listen to, so I'm the one that's had too much fluoride. She said soul sucking, and I thought she said something else. With all these stupid FCC rules, I get paranoid. So yes, ma'am, you made some really good points, and I apologize for yelling at you there at the end. We have so much of it, though, so many calls we've got to delay out that you can understand why. Let me just run through a bunch of final calls before I hit a few pieces of really top news I haven't gotten to yet. So much of the news that we will not get to today is up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Flashback, Obama launches total takeover of media system. The NSA is two-way. They don't just spy on you, they take over. And that's the rest of the story. Multiplying scandals to hide the one scandal that could sink Obama. Find out what that scandal is at Infowars.com. Hundreds in Hong Kong protest NSA surveillance. How dare them? Democrats who attacked Bush for spying on citizens now justify Obama doing far worse. NSA admits listening to U.S. phone calls without warrants. That's CNET News. Iran to send 4,000 more troops to aid President Assad forces in Syria against al-Qaeda. Who do you root for, Iran or al-Qaeda? This is crazy. Britain prepared for war in Syria 2 years before crisis flared up. France's former foreign minister says, oh, yeah, they funded the al-Qaeda to attack 2 years ago. So, of course, now they're at... The war started 2 years ago, folks. And then tear gas and bulldozers running over the Istanbul people. And all they wanted was to keep their park open and were peaceful, and then the cops attacked them. Turkey has elections, but the military runs that country. And that's what America's turning into. Most countries are like that. And I don't mean your son who's in the Marines or your daughter who's in the Navy. I mean the fat cats that run it, the El Jefes, the big chief, baby. I don't want to live under the chief. The president's only the commander-in-chief when Congress declares war and tells him what to go do. Then he's the chief of the military, not the big chief. Let's go to some phone calls here. Just briefly, InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsStore.com. And you can find all the great books and films and information we cover. It's a giant online shopping cart at InfoWarsStore.com with the lowest prices on hundreds and hundreds of products. And you can start pre-ordering. It comes out next month. The film that I'm in, that I'm distributing as the exclusive distributor, the film State of Mind, which blew me away. I mean, when I saw it, I said, okay, I consulted on it and I'm in it. But when I saw it, I said, whoa, I want to really get behind this. So pre-order State of Mind and get a free film. For the first 5,000 orders, we'll get a free copy of American Dream, the animated documentary film exposing the history of the Federal Reserve. It's very entertaining. It's like South Park meets a history lesson. So InfoWarsStore.com, State of Mind, order it now. And while supplies last, I have 5,000 of the American Dream film. So when it's gone, I'll no longer be able to give it free with the film. InfoWarsStore.com. And State of Mind gets into the whole history of mind control and then the present and the future. Let's go to Bill in Wisconsin. Bill, you're on the air. Welcome, sir. Hello, Bill. Well, I'm doing good, Bill. You're doing good? I'm glad you're doing good, Bill. Let's go to JT Coyote in Colorado. He's an occasional writer for Infowars.com. I'll know if it's him. JT, is that you?
It's me.
Okay, buddy.
All here.
What'd you call in about?
Well, I got a couple of points, Alex. First, I want to greet you the proper way. I will say Happy Paternal Progenitors Day in order to be politically correct.
No, I showed AP and Reuters. The word father is hate.
That's it. Secondly, demonizing the pipe or pot use is like demonizing the gun for crime. They're going after the tools.
Well, George Washington, exactly. There's no lobby for the pipe, so they'll ban even the wooden pipe in Florida, and felony charges.
Yeah, that's insane, man.
Well, they should arrest George Washington. He actually smoked. He actually didn't just grow hemp for sails and rope. He actually grew what they called toothache or stomachache hemp. George Washington actually smoked pot. So I'm unlike George Washington in that I'm not a marijuana type guy. I know I'm not trendy, folks.
Now you can watch The Alex Jones Show live as it happens at Infowars.com/show.